Well, this week we've talked about the Wear It Oswego campaign, and we are continuing our boat safety discussion this morning. Life jackets for everyone, including your furry pet. We have Dave White, the New York Sea Grant Great Lakes publicist, and Rob Jerry, the owner of Boatworks and the owner of Reach here. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Nice
How are you today?
So remind us, as we go out on the water, what are the three most important things we need to keep in mind and keep on the boat?
Well, you know, Safe Boating Week, and this boat is outfitted with everything you need to have on board. But three things I like to remind people of: having the right type of life jacket, the right number, one for everybody on board, and the right size, whether it be an adult, a child, or Reach. You know, having your life jacket for Reach is critically important as well. And then we also want to remind folks about flares, that everybody has to have them on board. One thing people forget is that they are dated. So your flares actually go out of date, so you want to check it, because a lot of folks bought their boat 10 years ago, they'll get stopped and they'll go, yeah, I've got my flares, but they're out of date. So having
is it illegal to have expired flares?
It is. I mean, they're glad you have them, but a lot of folks don't realize that they're dated and they last about 3 years. So, you know, making sure that you've got the right date on your flares, and then your fire extinguisher, also making sure it's charged, because again, a lot of folks will leave it right on the boat year round. You know, just tapping it, make sure it's in the green zone. So again, they've got the fire extinguisher, but if it's not charged, it's not going to be useful. They could get ticketed and fined. Usually they'll get a warning, but you know, make sure those are the things you want to check and be aware of. Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned the life jackets I see that our buddy Reach is wearing, and he looks happy in it. Is this something that you leave on him all the time that you're on the boat?
When they're on the boat, yeah, they should have them on all the time, even if they're a water dog like Reach.
I was just going to say he's a retriever, right?
Yeah.
So he wouldn't, I mean, they kind of swim for the hunting dogs. They go after the game sometimes, and they swim.
But if you're out in the middle of the lake, that's a lot further than they're going to swim back to shore. Okay. So they need a life jacket also.
So when you're fitting either man or beast or dog, I mean, how are you fitting? Is it the same way as you would fit for an adult or a child?
It's done by weight and size. I'm wearing an adult that's right here, and if I pardon my reach around the corner,
right.
Just like with adults, you can have them in all sizes, including for the dog. So, you know, and again, if you've got that smaller dog, and you can see right on Reach, he's got a handle on top.
Where do you get doggy life jackets?
Same with Boatworks.
Oh, that was such a setup, Chris. That really was. Any marine supply dealer will have them, including Boatworks. You can get them online. They've become very popular because of a lot of folks taking their dogs out, especially on like a pontoon boat where they do have a chance of falling in. And then you can just, if they do, you can reach right over, grab them by the handle, and bring them right back on board.
Okay, now I have to ask you this. Is it true that anybody who has a boat must have taken a boat safety course?
That is not true.
Okay.
What it is in New York, there's two varieties of the law, if you will. Anyone under 18 that wants to operate a motorboat alone in New York has to have taken the class. And then anyone, regardless of age, who wants to operate a personal watercraft or jet ski has to have taken a class. So if you wanted to go out and operate a motorboat and you don't have a certificate, you could. If you want to operate a personal watercraft, you have to have taken the class.
And Dave, what do we do if we find ourselves in trouble out in the water, be it Oneida Lake, maybe a bigger lake, Lake Ontario, any of the Finger Lakes? Give us some step-by-step procedures what to do if we find ourselves in a situation that's a bit unfriendly.
If you're in a situation that's a bit unfriendly, the first thing is everybody on board should put the life jacket on. That's the first thing.
Note, should kids already have them on?
Under 12 have to wear them all the time when you're on underway, and underway is everything basically except at the dock. So even if you're at anchor, you're classified as underway because you could be popping along and drifting still. So the first thing, if you get in any trouble, have everybody put a life jacket on, and I'm wearing mine correctly. It's all buttoned up. You're not. So if you fell overboard, your life jacket.
I'm on TV. I gotta look good, buddy.
You gotta look good, right? Yeah. I don't have
Point
to.
Taken,
I don't have to.
Point taken.
So making sure it's on, because you'll hear of a lot of people that fall overboard and they have a life jacket on, but they don't have it hooked. And the first thing, because a life jacket will float, it wants to stay up, and the first thing a person does is they throw their arms up in the air, and the life jacket will come right off.
So you got your life jacket on. What else?
Get your life jacket on. Make sure everybody is secure. Make sure any equipment is secure and out of the way. And now the great thing is with cell phones, immediately 911. You know, you can start waving to other boaters. Boaters are the friendliest people. They'll probably many times.
When do you launch those flares in closing?
Flares can be launched when you're really in trouble, but again, you want to make sure you're going to be someplace where someone can see them. So if you're out on a body of water like Lake Ontario and you're a couple miles from shore, you know, trying the cell phone, trying the VHF radio, the marine radio if you have it on board, and when you see another boat, that's when you want to do the flare, because that's the only people that are going to see it when they're out there.
Good tips, and I like your life jacket because it doesn't look like it inhibits you too much, you know, just while you're enjoying the boat.
This is the newer style. This is an inflatable. It's become one of the most popular jackets that's out there right now. It's not armed with a cartridge in it, but if it was, all I would have to do is pull this and it would completely inflate and be a full-size life jacket, including all the way around my neck.
Wonderful tips, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Reach.
And thanks to Reach, who was just fantastic. All right, from boating to grilling, Chris, you're chatting with Auntie.
Auntie Pot, you have a chance to catch up with her and talk about how to add some tropical flair to your backyard barbecue. That's next.